When you look at lists online of the greatest James Bond villains, Goldfinger generally, probably more often than not, tops the list. And I would put him number one on my list also, which is kind of ironic because um, Gert Frobe actually didn't do the voice work for the character. He's the actor, but the voice was actually Michael Collins, not Gert Frobe. All of his lines were dubbed, and I think a lot of people who aren't aware might be surprised at how many characters from James Bond are dubbed, including Ursula Anders. All of her lines were dubbed. Um, Gert Frobe is German, and his accent was a bit too thick, I guess, for the producers. Um, the actor who voiced him, Michael Collins, is English, and Goldfinger is supposed to be English. Although I have this feeling that he was perhaps trying to emulate Gert Frobe's voice because he doesn't sound particularly English in that role. So when Goldfinger does the immortal "No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die," that's not Gert Frobe, but it really is kind of seamless. I did not know. I did not know for years that this was not Gert Frobe speaking. Um, they don't do that anymore, but particularly in the early movies, there was a ton of dubbing, and sometimes you'd have multiple women being dubbed by the same woman. So anyway, this is the Big Chief Studios uh, Goldfinger, or Goldfinger. This came out with the Goldfinger James Bond, which I showed in one of my other videos. Um, and he is also, just like James Bond, is wearing the suit that he wore at his Kentucky stud farm. And it's also the suit he wore during his immortal speech that he gave to all of the mobsters, which didn't really make any sense because then he immediately killed them all. But the suit on here is really amazing. This I have to give them credit for. I really don't have much problem at all. The only thing, the tie, but the ties are always a pain. But this suit is really gorgeous, and it is absolutely spot on reproduction of the movie. You can see it is absolutely gorgeous, from the patterned vest, the suit coat, or jacket, I mean, really nice. The facial sculpt is fantastic. It really looks just like Gert Frobe. If I had any issue with it, it would be an issue that is not really correctable. But Gert Frobe had a bit of a ruddy face, so the figure obviously has one solid color, whereas his face kind of was blotchy, a bit red, and then around the eyes it was kind of lighter. Um, so I don't know if he was going out in the sun with something, with sunglasses on, or what, but they can't reproduce the ruddiness, and that would be asking too much for them to do that. But it does take away a little bit from his appearance as from his similarity to Gert Frobe. Um, the articulation in this one it's not that bad actually. Uh, Not terrible. It's not bad. Now, the way they achieved his girth, this is all padding. Padding here, padding here, padding everywhere. And that does kind of take away somewhat from his articulation. You know, he really can't even lift his arms because it's so padded up. And it is like just all squishy, like a big squishy doll. Um, the calves are not padded, but but the thighs are. You can feel the soft padding in there, but it looks fine. I don't mind that at all. For whatever reason, I don't know why, his pant cuffs are kind of raggedy. So I don't know if that's the way it was in the movie and they decided to reproduce that or what, but yeah, a lot of threads hanging off there. I like his boots. He's got some pretty cool boots. Just as with the other figures, though, it's not separate. They're not removable. You can see all the threads just hanging off there. So this is, yeah, I give high marks to this one. It's a hard one to get at this point, but I bet you if you go on eBay now, I don't know how much you're going to pay, but I'm sure you're going to pay well over the MSRP for this at this point. This was with the first group of figures. Um, First it was Goldfinger, then um, drawing a blank, Live and Let Die, and just recently Dr. No. So if you can get your hand on this one, this is a nice one. This is one of my favorite ones. And then later on, I'll show the third one of this trio, which is Odd Job, which is another great figure.